You're listening to Morning Braw's Joe Stanley and Ella Hooper with you. Now, Ella, I think you would agree that we are all aware, particularly those of us in our midlife, that we need to prepare for our senior years, and financial security is absolutely critical to that.
Massive.
But knowing it and doing it is a very different thing, and it turns out that women specifically struggle with that financial literacy and particularly superannuation piece for us. It's a huge gap.
Huge gap, and such a hot topic for such a good reason. I feel like finally, we're all going, hey, can we talk about all the things that traditionally women aren't either meant to talk about or just don't talk about? Like, what is it? Sex, death and taxes and money. Let's talk about money, finally.
Let's talk about money, and let's get prepared. To help us do that, we are joined by Pascale Helyar-Moray, OAM, important to chuck that bit in on the end. She is an extraordinary founder of Grow My Money. It's a platform that I'm going to speak about in a moment. You must check it out, but also has just published a book called Rich Woman, Poor Woman, which is the most practical guide to getting your superannuation sorted. Pascale, firstly, congratulations on the book.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you give us a very quick, sort of in a nutshell, state of the nation? What is it like for women and our superannuation? Because there's a massive gap, isn't there?
Absolutely. So the bad news is that 1 in 6 women retires into poverty in Australia. And God help you if you're female, because that number becomes 1 in 3. So essentially the system was not set up for women. It was designed by men. It was designed for men who work full-time for the entire length of their careers, earning at a man's wage. But that is not true for women. Women dip in and out of the workforce because of various responsibilities like parental leave or looking after the elderly or whatever it may be. And then if they stepped out of the workforce, if they do return to work, and there's a big if, and I'll talk about that stat in a minute, but if they do return to work, they tend to do so in a part-time capacity, right, in order to juggle the kids and the domestics and da-da-da-da. And, of course, when you are working part-time, you're contributing fractionally to your super. So where we end up is that women in Australia currently retire with anywhere between a quarter to half as much super less than a man.
Pascale, as someone who is, historically not very financially literate, I'm a lifelong musician and, come from a long line of, let's not mention it, about money was not our family's focus. Let's just put it that way. Sure. What is one of those first simple steps I can do to become more aware of, where my super's at, or what's a good entry point for someone like me, 41, who, I'm just going to be honest, has no idea?
The first thing I would advocate really is understand where you are. You must have bits of super and perhaps in various different accounts. Just go on to the ATO Super Consolidator tool and just find out exactly where you are. Because once you know where you are, then you can start putting together a plan to where you want to get to. I think the second, or actually I'd put it in parallel actually with the first, is don't be frightened. You still have time. And the other thing, and it's quite funny, in writing the book and talking to people about this, people think that there is, the age of 65 or retirement becomes this massive full stop, right? I cannot add any more into my super. Well, that is actually just not true. You can continue adding into your super even when you are in retirement. So the number one thing is don't be afraid. Know where you are and build a plan to get you where you want to go.
Thank you.
I really love the no be afraid, because you do tend to put head in sand when you go, oh, it's all too scary and now I'm just going to pretend that problem is over there and I don't have to even look at it.
Big time.
But is it, because I'm 10 years down the track from Ella, and I know people who are leaving relationships late in their 50s, even in their 60s. So that's a whole different story where suddenly you're single and the separation of the partner's superannuation has become a very, very acrimonious situation, really, really damaging. And often financial abuse sort of steps in at that point as well. Is it is it never too late? I feel like at some point you go, oh my God, I've just left myself with no room, no runway to sort this out.
I can see why you'd say that, Jo. And I think that's, that approach is, or that attitude is, adopted by many. But there are so many strategies available to us. And this is also one of the other key things in the book. Like, as consumers of superannuation, so let's think of superannuation as a product, right? It's like a phone, it's like, a bank card, whatever. At the end of the day, superannuation is like a product. So with that, we can do all the things to make sure that we're getting the best from our product that we can. Now, the thing with super is that you may feel like this is entirely your responsibility, but the thing is, it's not. There are a number of players on the superannuation savings team for Jo or for Ella. There's you, there's your employer, there's the government, because there are a number of government hacks or strategies, I should say, to help you increase your super. And then last but certainly not least, there's compound interest. Like, these are 4 really key players in your super savings team. And we could even add a 5th player into your super savings team through the form of the Australian Taxation Office, or the ATO. One of the very little known government hacks is that if you are a low income earner, and the threshold somewhere around $40,000 per year, if you contribute $1,000 of your after-tax money into your superannuation, the government will tip in another $500.
Get out. See, that's very.
So what's that? That's free money, folks.
A lot of my musician friends and female musician friends are going to be in that bracket for sure, and I will be telling them that. Thank you, Pascale.
Please do. It's free money. It's free money, and
literally.
No one knows about it. This is what I'm telling you.
So I want to encourage you to buy the book. It's called Rich Woman, Poor Woman. Head along to Pascale's website. It's pascalehm.com.au. If you go to /resources, there are so many toolkits there, so many great practical things we can do. Honestly, Pascale, it's just awesome. And very, very quickly, can you tell us about Grow My Money? Because it's another opportunity for us to just use those little 1%ers or even 0.5%ers very quickly.
Absolutely. This is more free money, effectively. So Grow My Money is a shopping platform where when you spend at any online or in-store retailer, that retailer pays cash back into your superannuation or mortgage.
What?
So let's say I spend $1,000 at Big W because it's Christmas and whatnot. I shop online through Big W. Big W will pay $20 into my Grow My Money account. Grow My Money then transfers that into your nominated super or mortgage. So there's no inflated prices. You can still buy things on sale. You can still earn reward points with Big W, whatever. But this is simply a way of the retailer rewarding you for your loyalty.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Just get it, and it's free money. Oh my gosh.
Free money.
And $20 when you're 25 becomes, I can't do the sums because I'm no good at that.
Yeah,
but when you're 65, it becomes something that's actually really, really great for you, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it, Pascale.
Thank you, Pascale, for breaking this stuff down. It's so important.
Yeah, congratulations on all that you're doing for women and for our financial security. It's really, really wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll have more Morning Broads after this.
Unreal.
Amazing.
So cool. I mean, we need you back on the show. This is just such a big one. And the language, just shifting the language too around, you were saying seeing super as a product, bang, penny drop for me. And it just would be for so many other people. Don't see it as some big murky.
No, nebulous monster that just is ready to pounce,
Just brilliant.
I mean, there's so much more we could talk about around how women are fearful of money because it's how we're controlled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. And I cover that in the book. We are raised to be, you shouldn't be selfish. You should be at the service of others. Even if not those exact words. But the last time I checked, being unselfish didn't pay the bills.
No.
Being at the service of others is unpaid work.
And as if you're going to care about that when you're looking down the barrel of poverty in your 60s. You go, I'm so pissed off I looked unfeminine when I took care of my finance.
Live big. Live broad. Broad Radio. Download the Broad Radio app now to listen.